of a shop. In fact, it's known as the Tiffany's of butchers in New York City. And it's the Lobel Meat Market. The Lobels, 5 generations of butchers, probably carry the nicest, most delicious, most flavorful aged meat in America. And right now I have 2 generations with me, the father Leon, the son Evan. And they're going to show us how to prepare and cook outside on the grill some unusual cuts of meat. Well, right now Leon is preparing a 7-rib roast. And that looks spectacular, Leon.
That is beautiful.
What are you doing? That beautiful little...
I'm creating a piece of art. This is my painting.
And Evan is sharpening the Lobel's knives.
And they are like a razor.
Now, why grill an expensive piece of meat like this 7-rib roast?
You enhance flavor. The charcoal adds flavor. The drippings bring it up and add flavor. And you're sealing and searing the meat at the same time. The important part of a piece of meat like the prime rib of beef is the graining. You have the fat in between the meat. As the meat is cooked, the fat dissolves and keeps the meat tender.
I've read in your books about what that meat should really look like. It should be a bright red.
Let me show you.
Okay.
Let me just take a piece off.
Okay, that's the right color.
This is the right color.
Why don't you show us how to prepare this beautiful meat?
The way I like to do it, we're having 12, 14 good eaters. You don't really want to give a slice like this and then cut in between the bone and then another slice and cut in between the bone. The way I prefer doing, I bone my prime rib.
The bones add flavor and they add substance to the meat, don't they?
They do, yes.
You remove that big heavy bone from this roast. That's called it what?
The chine bone. Put the bone back on, because the bone can take the most punishment on the grill. So we can keep it there longer.
So how do you season it?
We're gonna go ahead and season on this side with this coarse salt.
And now freshly ground pepper.
And rub it in. Put the bone back on top.
The same way you cut it off?
The same way I cut it off. We're gonna turn it over. And we're gonna season the fat side, the heaviest. Then we're gonna go ahead and tie it in 4 places. We're gonna take 2 or 3 of the cabbage leaves. I just put the cabbage leaves like this here. By using the cabbage leaf instead of fat, you notice it will not burn. And the cabbage leaves will come off about after an hour.
I love this idea.
We're gonna tie it in again 4 places. And now what I did learn is an old Indian trick. We put lemon over the fat, and that prevents flare-up. And there we go, Martha, ready for the grill.
Now the grill is ready. The cardwood coals have to be white.
We're putting the bone side down, so it's going to take the most heat.
Now, Leon, how long do we leave this on?
I usually go by the height of the roast. If it's 4 inches high, it'll take about an hour and a half, an hour and 3/4. It's going to put the cover on, and then we'll take the cover off in 25 minutes.
While Leon goes and has a beer, well, he has 25 whole minutes before you have to look at this again. His son, Evan, is going to come and show us how to grill the perfect steak. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you in a bit. Well, you may think you know how to cook the perfect steak on the grill outdoors, but I guarantee that you'll learn some wonderful pointers from Evan Lobel. Now, you and your family have been working on this grilling book for a long time.
Yes, and it's coming out in the spring.
Why don't you tell us about the perfect steak?
Well, the perfect steak for me is the New York strip steak.
Is this the prime meat that you're famous for?
This is all prime meat. We age everything about 5 or 6 weeks in our specially designed aging rooms. The first thing I like to do is take some olive oil. I just pour it right on the steak, very simply. I rub in the olive oil a little bit. So we take some coarse salt, a little fresh ground pepper. So we flip it over, do the same thing with the kosher salt, and again, the fresh ground pepper. And over to the grill. We're going to do it on direct heat. So we're going to let that sit there for a while, and we're going to move on to the chicken.
And this is another thing that I don't think many of us know how to cook on the outdoor grill, which is the whole chicken.
Hey, Dad.
I had to give him his water.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes,
It's
perfect.
about 25 minutes now, so I figured I'm going to go ahead and do the grill.
Let's see what that looks like.
You see what I mean by the cabbage leaves?
Does that
Beautiful
look
it is?
delicious?
You think you're the only one who needs a glass of beer. But I'm going to show you something. We're going to put it in the bowl, and we're going to brush the top of the roast.
It looks
Perfect.
beautiful, Dad.
Doesn't it?
Thank
Yep.
you.
This is who I learned it from.
Thank you, Ev. Thank you. As a matter of fact, I think I'm learning a little bit from you now.
So you're going to turn it over now.
Just turn it over, and you see how the cabbage has...
Well, it certainly does protect the ends of the bones and no burning.
That's right. Now what we're going to do is put the lid back on.
And for how long?
We're going to keep it on for about another 15 minutes. We're going to take the cabbage leaf off, cook it again for another 10 minutes.
These, Martha, cook for about, they'll go about 8 minutes on each side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll start on our chicken.
Okay, sounds good. First, we're going to slice one small onion thin
Okay, I'll do
for the
that.
marinade. I'll take another onion. We cut this in half. Then we cut this in half again and make 2 wedges. Then we take some rosemary and we peel off the sprigs, and we'll hold on to this stick for the skewer. This gets chopped pretty finely. Okay, we can put this right inside this bowl.
Okay, with these sliced onions?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Then we take a lemon. Would you like to zest this for me?
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, thank you.
Right into here?
Yes, please. Really just half of it should be enough.
Okay.
Okay. The lemon here, and we're going to cut that in half to make our skewer. We'll make a little X right on the skin and put it right through there. Okay. That is going to go inside the chicken. 2 tablespoons of mustard, and we have 1 tablespoon of the rice wine vinegar.
I love this
That we'll put
vinegar.
in. Teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of the freshly ground pepper. Here's the chicken, and we can pour this.
How's that?
Perfect. Okay, now inside the cavity goes
Oh,
the
great.
little kebab, and it stays there for the duration of the cooking.
So that should marinate for how long?
This marinates for up to 24 hours.
Now, on indirect heat. So
On
that is
indirect
the
heat.
other half of the grill from your actual coals.
Exactly. The total cooking time on this chicken is 1.5 hours to 1 hour and 45 minutes,
Long.
or until done.
The test for doneness. This is another thing that everyone has sort of a way to test, but you have a very good way. I love it.
The best way is through experience. A good test for rare is if you have your hand completely relaxed, right in the V area, go underneath and touch it, and that is rare. If you open it up a little more, it's going to be a little tighter. Open it up all the way.
Well done.
Well done.
What a beautiful, perfectly cooked grilled steak. Well, while we're waiting for the second steak and the chicken to cook, I think, oh, Leon, yeah, come on. Leon has to show us how to remove the cabbage leaves.
You talk perfection. Remember, the cord that we have to cut is right on top of the cabbage. So we don't
cut the other ones.
That's my girl. What is important now, we're going to season this outside again. We did not season the bone before, you remember? That's where I want to go ahead and do it.
So the bones are really going to be the extra treat.
That's right.
Now, do we turn it over again?
We're going to turn it over. Oh, we're going to let the bone stand up, and we're going to sear that for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to go back to the fat side.
A little more beer?
Yes. Nothing like a good ale for whatever ails you.
Here's a good thing for propping up meat during cooking, especially something like a whole chicken. You can prop it up with eggplant. The eggplants will cook very slowly over the grill and then can be turned into something delicious like baba ganoush. And the chicken will easily be browned all the way around its exterior. Grilling with vegetables used as proper uppers, it's a good thing.
Coming up next, Evan's signature leg of lamb, grilled to perfection.